What's up, everyone? We're back again, and this time we have the Space Pirates.
All right, y'all. First off, yargh. Second of all, this bad boy can fit so much energy. All right, so we'll get into it now. We got everybody's favorite now. Pirates are finally relevant. You know, we don't talk about the yellow one. All right, so Bojack here, kind of cool, kind of big brain deck. Also, if you want to just skip to the full layout of the deck, just skip towards the end. Okay, all right. So activate battle. You're just gonna choose a Bojack card and you combo with it. Now, that's just free real estate on its own. It's kind of the way that King Piccolo plays the game, except you're just blue and you're playing from energy instead of life. But Bojack can technically spam out more than King Piccolo does. But King Piccolo just has somewhat better options because most of my removal interactions through combat, which we'll show later, or end of combat. So, the Awaken, it's the same as Shenron or anybody like that. If I'm at 3 or less or have my 4-cost Unison in play, draw 2, untap 1. The backside. Now, the way it's the same with the Activate Battle, just combo with the Bojack card. You do not draw on this leader because you're technically drawing and getting value through comboing cards from your energy. The other thing is the auto trigger. When your opponent attacks, you can pay 1 blue, choose 1 card in your hand, pitch it, and you untap 4 mono blue mana, mono blue.
But you can't activate any counters for the rest of the turn.
You can't activate counter skills from your hand.
So
is really what the wording was supposed to be for this card. You guys can go check up on the FAQ and such if anybody has any arguments. But yeah, it's mainly just so you pitch one useless card in your hand and then you just untap mana to do all your Bojack plays, a rivaling spam board. All right. Now we'll get into the meat of it, the Bojack Core. This is kind of Band-Aid build deck. You have to kind of play the entire archetype for the most part. So we got 4 of the best girls Zanya here. The Evildoer. This is probably your best charge in the early turns because you just pay 1 mana, you pay a mana sink, and then you just combo her off and she draws a card. So
it's just better for your opponent. Like your opponent loses by attacking.
Pretty much. Like you don't care about like what your life total's at. You can awaken at 3 if your opponent pushes you down, or you just stall them out and you awaken when you have your Unison out. So she's the easiest defensive one to use, and she doesn't need a mana to do anything. Now, realistically, your best card in this deck is this Bojack, right? Even though it looks like Vegeta, there's technically Bojack punching him in the face. So this is one of your cards that you come in to play in the battle. So if you the combo him with your leader skill or combo from hand, at the end of the battle, you pay 2 mana and you put him in play, and he spends an opponent's battle card, ignoring mana conditions. Unlike some blue cards usually have like either 5 or less or something like that. He doesn't care. He's also the 20k dual attacker. He's one of your best pressures in the game, and they come in active mode. I'll show a couple later how to do like Bojack sequencing. Why this deck is kind of big brain. You really have to sequence and pay attention to what's in your energy, what's in your mana, and how much you can actually get out of it to play this deck correctly. Since you're not drawing a lot inherently, you do see a lot of cards. You do see a lot of cards usually in the deck. But you're not having a big hand size. Most of the time I sit around between 6 to 8 cards. So you really have to make everything count to eke out every value to win. And we have 3 TP Bojacks. This is just another very efficient 1 mana guy you can just combo with, put into play for 1 mana, and he has a good effect of helping you be a little bit more defensive. Your opponents can still attack your battle cards and or your Unison. If they only want to attack leader card with a card equal to or greater than their mana, they have to punch him.
Which is basically every card, every deck in the game, essentially.
For the most part. And unfortunately, they put it in, this card is KO, draw a card. They didn't put it like remains lead by skill or KO'd, draw a card. So yeah. Warping, minusing, it all gets around him and not draw a card. But if you punch him or green has KO effects, I get to at least recycle.
Yeah, but also really relevant, he's actually a 0k combo. He doesn't have the 1 mana combo like most of the other Bojack guys, so it is technically relevant with like Galactic Buster.
Yeah.
So just pay attention for that.
Yeah. That's the other thing is you have to be very careful with your mana to make sure you combo off correct cards. Now we have the actual SR in the deck. You play 4 of him. You're never really going to summon out all 4.
Free 10k though.
Yeah. You get to play another deck that plays free 10ks besides Vegeks. I forgot the other permanent of this. You'll see they all have one cost, and that's because it goes with the leader skill. He removes the 1 cost for the combo, and that's why this is a free 10k or worse. Otherwise, you could actually play these in other blue decks. If they were 0-5ks, then that'd be really good. Now that they have to pay 3 mana, it makes them less good for other just generic blue decks.
Yeah.
His ability, it's 4 mana to come into play to spin 1 and draw 1. He comes in rest mode. Unfortunately, he doesn't have barrier or anything, but he has double strike dual attack, so if he does live, he has a insanely good offensive pressure. But his auto, if your opponent attacks with a battle card, you get to untap a mono blue mana and your opponent rest one. That's why he comes in rest mode, and also he'd probably be really strong if he came in untapped aggressively. But that's why this one's usually generally better for like pressure turns, because he does come in untapped.
Yeah, but he's a 4 mana coming to play, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it sets up perfect for the leader. If you play Unison on 4 and Awaken, you untap that 1 mana, they attack you, you untap 4, and you can technically play him.
Right. Next, we got the Goku of the Evildoer. He's again just another 1 mana guy, just shove on war, 20k. Funny, he gets around the BMS because he's 20k, and he spins the BMS because he spends 1 or lesses. On that, he's just good body, good pressure, and you get value off comboing defensively, and then you play him. It's like, again, King Piccolo-esque. Now this Bujin, I have a love-hate relationship. Either he's the best card in the game, or he is the most useless blocker ever. That's it. Again, another 1 mana combo into play, another 1k combo. So he will target a battle card if it's cost greater than their mana. They cannot attack or combo it until the end of their next turn. So if your opponent has, like, say, a 4 cost, right, and they have a 2 and they have 3 mana, you target that card. It cannot attack for 2 turns. That turn and the turn after. So in that case, he's really good. But if you play against like loading or an aggro decks, he's just a blocker. And he's okay, and he's unique. Otherwise, I probably want to put him at 3. You can play him at 3, but when I did, he got a little clunky. And I'd rather just have like another Goku or just a winner TP, just somebody else that not unique, you just spam out. Now, I do not play the Bidu 1-drop. I only play the Goku of the Calamity as my mana sink, because he usually searches top 5, well, he does search top 5, for a 3 or less Bojack Brigade. So either Goku, Bujin, himself, Zangya, or this one, or your Unison. I think he's the best one, on top of being your 1 mana sink you want for your turn, just apply crit pressure. And I wanted that over Double Strike. Now you can play the Bidu. I don't really care about it enough, but the Bidu would be more for pressuring Unisons. I play 4 of the Bujin negate that you can use from your mana, because your leader skill is only from hand, so you can't negate from hand, but you can negate him using it from your mana. On that, he's just a Master Roshi negate with an archetype. We have 3 other Bidus. The Evildoer, he's probably your best turn 2 crit pressure, since you can combo him for your mana, pay 1, then untap 1. Now you still have a mana to use for one of your other 1-drop peoples, on top of being crit pressure and actually somewhat decent removal for his activate main 2 bottom deck at 3-drop. Now, I know this Unison's nuts, right? And why am I not playing at 4? Because he got clunky, and you don't want to charge him for extras if you get there, because you want to play all these guys from your mana or use them for extra value. You can pitch the other ones, though, to leader skill to untap 4. But otherwise, this Boo is the one you use to awaken. He draws 1, untaps 1 perfectly for this. You can untap your 4 mana. It's designed for him. On top of being double strike, good pressure. He's a blocker that restands himself, so insanely good defense. And the -1, if you just hold it, your opponent doesn't want to commit to any like big battle card ever. All right, now we got, thank God they didn't mess up this card, Galactic Buster.
Fresh off the clarification.
Yeah, fresh off the clarification. Shout out to this deck would be a lot more cheeks. This is why it matters that the cards have the 1 combo cost. So you can actually use this for like other like 1 mana 10k combos in your energy, but you can't use them on like Bujins. You can't use it on this AOD Bojack, because they do not have the 1 mana combo cost, because at least the Bojack was designed to be used in other decks. Like we'll shout out to my future AOD deck profile, but this one allows you to manipulate using multiple cards out of your energy with your leader skill, and giving you an untapped mana to end a battle, play everybody you summoned. So the point of the deck is to combo everybody, free play, and play your board off of being defensive and generate your board state and not really losing out on any value. That's why your deck doesn't really draw, but you see a lot of cards and he will still flood the board in a different way.
Yeah, mind explaining what that guy does for people who don't know? It's a big wall of text.
Galactic Buster? Oh
yeah.
Boy, I gotta read this one. Alright. So if your leader card is Bojack Brigade card or mono blue card, and you choose 1 mono blue battle card with a combo cost of 1 in your energy. You draw 1 card, then choose a chosen card in a combo. If it's your opponent's turn, you use the combo with a skill, place this card in your energy from your draw period, and at the end of battle, you switch 1 of your energy to rest mode. And you can only activate it once per turn. You can also use this card aggressively. It just doesn't replace your mana, but you can use it as aggressive combo power. Say I have one of these, I already used my leader ability on something, you combo him 10k, and you still draw 1. You just don't get the mana back. Alright, so that's pretty much like the Bojack, brick of it. Now we're going to the non-Bojack cards. We got 3 Senzu Beans. Originally I wasn't playing this, but it became up to either help more defensively and help me spam out all of my guys, and it's just generally good on top of like aggressive pressure with the dual attack Bojack. You just beat him, combo another one on top, and you just keep punching face as much as possible. Now this is the other debate people have about this deck is I see them running the Zangief super combo on top. Like, yeah, it's really good defensive. You can activate your leader to combo for energy, but this gives me too much energy manipulation on top of fixing my mana. Say if I charge my super combo or charge my secret rare off the leader flip, like I have 4 chances now to pick back up what I want selectively out of my mana, and it gives me an untapped mana in a nutshell. Worst case, you can play as your mana sink as 1 mana, draw 1. Now here's the spicy boy. We got the absolute confidence, right? This card says, activate battle, choose 1. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it should cost 3 or less, return it to their hand, draw 1. You can activate main or battle. The real thing is you activate to choose one of your opponent's unison markers and you remove a marker off of it. So that's the whole thing with the 2 mana. You can use a Galactic Buster, a Zeno, a Bean to untap mid-combat, like 2 mana in that sense. And then if somebody dumped on their unison for double strike swing, minus a counter, it resets that card back to
yeah. For those who don't know, when unisons lose markers, so that like they keep all their skills when they gain them, but say like someone's playing the Jiren unison, that +1 and gain double strike, if a marker is removed mid-combat, it reverts back to the normal card. So that card could gain like 10,000 in triple strike, like say the secret, like the King Vegeta unison in King Cold. It immediately goes back to being a 15k single striker after you activate Absolute Confidence and lose a marker.
Yeah, since it's defensively, your opponent will also dump on it too, so you're just like, all right, I'll take 1. It's like using God Strike.
The old God Strike combo.
But for unisons. And with people playing Gohanks unison and stuff too, with that getting triple strike, dual attack and stuff, a lot of people will dump on it, and Vegex, the same thing.
King Cold, Vegex, Gohanks decks.
Yep. Now,
also just 3 or less 2 draw a card.
Yeah, if somebody dumps it on a 2 or drop, you just bounce it. This is like one of your other ways to bounce mid-combat, where most of these are at the end of combat.
They gotcha.
We got 2 Energy Frenzy Kefla. You do spam a board a lot. If your opponent isn't removing everything constantly, it's pretty minuscule to get 4 guys on board to make her a 3-drop, and then she gives you constant draw every turn on top of mana manipulation.
Yeah.
Next after that, we got 1 Chilled Boy. Chilled Army Reinforcement. It gives you an additional blocker for help protect your unison, and sometimes just clutch free negate. Do remember, you cannot use this anymore if you already activated the leader skill. Usually you would want to activate this first encounter window, then resolve Bojack auto on auto resolution. That way you get the best of both worlds. You generate your blocker, you negate an attack, and you either go from 4 to 3 or 5 to 4. It doesn't really matter at that point. But yeah, make sure you sequence that correctly. Also, you pick it up with Zeno Super Combo if you milled it. Yay. Now, the other reason for Zeno at 4, I do play 2 Draw Apes. Now, if your deck still functions completely fine, even if you flip this. It just sucks that if you're trying to slam Unison on 4, that this is what gets charged over. So you have to pick this up with the Zeno if you want to do that. But it's still not even dead if it's in your mana, because there's still colorless cards you play from, or my bad, the cards you play are colorless mana, like Boujin, the AOD, the Bojacks need 1 colorless mana and 1 blue, so it's not completely dead.
Drop, yeah.
This is also one of the main cards you want to pitch off your leader just to untap, and then on your turn you pay 2 mana as your mana sink, draw 2. Now you can swing, combo with your guy, combo from energy that was in tap mode. So there's almost, the downside of this is it gets flipped over your mana, that's why it's only at 2. But the upside is just so much higher. All right, and then we have one of the other win cons of the deck. If you just can't win through flooding your bonus board, or their game's going super long, you want to set up like a Kefla and board state thing, Android 17, turning the tide.
And the Unison, just turning the tide and draw 3 sounds pretty good.
It's so good. And especially if Zangief super combo, draw 4. But you do charge every turn in this deck, because like, unless you know you're not going to be able to get to turning the tide and you just want to hold cards in your hand and combo them more, if you can, you don't really get punished for charging every turn, since that your energy is also your hand. So this is also inherently one of the best turning the tide decks. It's like I can go from 0 cards in hand, but if I still have like a bunch of cards I can play off my mana, it's like I still have an 8-card hand in a way. And the secret rare we're playing is Pycon. Baby Hatch is still generally better in a nutshell, but Pycon helps close out games for this deck, and on top of you activating battle and untapping for it, the Pycon, you just have the perfect mana to activate battle for Pycon. So these 2 are really your only battle card mid-combat active or interactions, and that everything's at the end of battle. So that's this one. There may be more tweaks later, but for now, this is one I feel really solid with and it feels clean, and I just get so much satisfaction with playing this deck. I love this deck. It's so much fun. I just feel like it needs a little bit more pressure to be hyper tier 1-esque.
I feel like it's missing just one card, and then it can take over top. It has easy removal in blue, which is weird. Like this Bojack, the Bojack for 2 mana to remove a card. It can stall you with the TP pack. Mana abilities with the 8-drop. Spin your problems with the other Goku for 1-drops. It has a lot of answers to its own problems, but it's just it's just right below there, I think.
Now you can definitely still win locals, and you could probably still top a best of 3 tournament with this. Like, I don't feel as confident with it, but there could also be more testing and such. Maybe somebody else can crack the code, but this is where I'm sitting at right now with my Bojack deck.
But all right, guys, it's gonna be Bojack. I'm gonna get a wide shot of this. But all right, that's Dae Han Hardesty with Bojack. We'll see you next time.